Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Sunday Bhagavad Gita program. Who's coming for the first time today? Okay, welcome. Every Sunday we have a presentation on some theme topic on Bhagavad Gita. Now we'll have a presentation, and if you have any questions, at the end we can have a question answer session. Okay, you can just shift because later people will come, they won't have place to sit. Okay, so the topic today is India, the super spiritual power. Nowadays a lot of talk on superpower. But India's position is different, as we'll read in Shastra and what Acharyas have said. Generally speaking, birth in any country, place, family, and the body you get depends on our karma. Everyone is born in different places in different circumstances. So actually there's a verse explained here in Srimad Bhagavatam. Karmana deva netrena jantu deho papatte striya pravishta udaram pumsareta kanashaya. Okay, so if you look on the right side, there's pictures of different, I don't know what you call it, zygote, development of the embryos. In the beginning they're all the same. Some changes come later on. So karma deva netrena, karmana deva. Deva means Supreme Lord. According to his supervision, netrena, according to his supervision, everyone will take birth in a certain body, certain family, culture, community. Because he sees our previous actions and our desires. It's not that we'll get a human birth. It's not that we'll get a human birth here. Even this planet we may get elsewhere. So, the translation, the personality of God, it said, this is spoken by Lord Kapila, incarnation of Krishna. He says, under the supervision of the Supreme Lord himself, and according to the result of the work, the living entity, the soul, is made to enter the womb of a woman through the particle of male semen to assume a particular body. So embryology is here described in Srimad Bhagavatam. We mentioned this last Sunday also, that people are wondering, when does consciousness come? Is the child conscious? At what stage? Can you abort? And all that. But here we learn from Srimad Bhagavatam that the soul, forget about is the fetus conscious. The soul enters the particle of the semen when it's entering the woman. According to the Veda, our death does not come till the next body is ready, if we know what is the next birth. So the particle of semen and soul enters the particle of semen at the time of conception, and we'll get one of these bodies depending on our karma. So this is the understanding of Srimad Bhagavatam. In India, maybe not now, but the spiritual tradition, everyone knew this. People understood this is the karma, this is the... And so people were not so disturbed when things go wrong. They'll understand this is my karma, this is my destiny, and will take it. Whereas someone who doesn't have this knowledge will be in great depression and stress. Everyone is enjoying, why can't I enjoy? And then they'll get mentally disturbed. But if we have a proper understanding, we'll also understand this life is not all in all. We had previous lives, will be future life. But of course the thing is to come out of this cycle. But we shouldn't see that this is the only gap of my existence. We are eternal. This is what Bhagavad Gita explains. Antavanta ime deha nityasyukta sharirina. The body has an end. Antavanta ime deha nityasyukta sharirina. But the one inside the body is eternal. The one inside. So therefore, as I said, that's why there are different kind of places on this planet. Different places, different circumstances. You see life forms everywhere. Why? It's not just by chance. It's because souls all want to live in different circumstances. So the plan was made for them. So now, having understood this point that birth is according to our karma, Shastra describes the nature of Bharatvarsha, this tract of land. This land in this planet is different from other lands. Sorry. So, in this land, people take birth after pious activities in a past life. This is explained. In other lands, people take birth or live in a particular way, how they decide in the past life. So you have, desert is a place of punishment. That North Pole, South Pole, where climatic conditions are difficult. Srila Prabhupada, our founder of ISKCON, went to London, and the interviewer asked him, "You're describing hell in your writing." He said, "Yes, there are planets known as Narak. There are 14, they are in the lower regions of earth." He says, "Okay, so you're describing hell. Have you seen hell?" Prabhupada said, "Yes, London is hell." Then he got shocked. "What are you talking about?" He said that, "You see, here you don't have sunlight. So you're all getting punished. Even lack of sunlight is punishment. Lack of water, lack of anything. This is punishment." So, those who are pious living entities, they take birth in India according to Shastra. It's explained. As we explained, that in past life, whatever you desire, you take birth in the next life. So now here in India, the climatic condition, this is explained even in Shastra, that the climatic conditions are not so bad. It's balanced, not too hot, not too cold. Fruits and vegetables, things are readily available. But not only that, there are so many holy rivers, there are so many holy mountains. We even may have forgotten some of them in Kali Yuga, but they are listed. There's a long list given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Holy lands, holy dhams, there's so many. Because a facility is given to the souls. Wherever they were on the planet in the past life, they are cultivating spiritual realization. They didn't finish. They are given opportunity. This is the land which is glorified in Shastra. Especially, for example, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 31, there's a lot of verses explaining about Bharat, about India. It's spoken by different devatas. Devatas are glorifying India. So there they say that especially in Kali Yuga, those who take birth are very fortunate because self-realization is very easy at that time. But generally speaking, devatas say that how glorious are people born in Bharat Varsha. This is known as Bharat Varsha because previously there was a great king, Bharat, who ruled. He ruled the whole planet, but he was from here. So sometimes Bharat refers to this place, this land, sometimes the whole planet also. So they're saying how great are the residents because they are born in Bharat where they get all facility for self-realization. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is actually a verse which explains glories. Glory, it says, glories of Jambudvip. Jambudvip, description of Jambudvip. Okay, so there it's explained, different verses. Bharat Varsha offers, this is text 25, Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Puranas, this country is glorified. There is no other place they speak about in the Puranas. Bharat Varsha offers the proper land and circumstance in which to execute devotional service, which can free one from the results of jnana and karma. If one obtains a human body in the land of Bharat Varsha with clear sensory organs, that means we have good eyes, ears and everything, with which to execute Sankirtan Yajna, but in spite of this opportunity, he does not take to devotional service. He's certainly like, it says here, like a liberated forest animal and bird that are careless and are therefore again bound by the hunter. Because we take birth in a situation where we got facility for self-realization, but if we don't come out, again we go in the cycle. So devatas are glorifying this land. And they say, here now in text 23, chapter 5, chapter 19, canto 5, text 23. A short life in the land of Bharatvarsha is preferable to a life achieved in Brahmalok for millions and billions of years, because even if one is elevated to Brahmalok, he must return for repeated birth and death. Although life in Bharatvarsha in a lower planetary system is very short, it's 100 years here, there it's thousands. One who lives here can elevate himself and achieve the highest perfection. So in general, this land is glorified. You can see glorification of India, Bharatvarsha is given. So therefore the land of Bharat, India, it's different from other lands. We are speaking about that Jiva is taking birth according to his enjoyment, in whether he's born in different places in this world, different species, different land. But here the aim is self-realization. That's why one is born here in this land. Many verses are glorified, all over Shastra, we cannot speak all of them now. So today that land that we call India is still known for this. Outside of India, many people come here and they are searching. They don't know where to go, what to look. They come roaming India, Haridwar, Rishikesh, from the west, from everywhere. But there is no clear direction. Sometimes they get cheated. I mean, leave alone out of India, within India also. People come there, they don't know what is the truth. There are so many devatas, who to worship, what mantra to chant, what puja to do, where to go. There is no guidance. So, but there is an idea that here, this is the place for that. So here in India, Bhagavad Gita was spoken. Bhagavad Gita was spoken about approximately 5,000 years ago, but it was not the first time, but in the whole planet, in the whole creation, here in the Gita was spoken. Perfect spiritual knowledge in 700 verses spoken here. Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken here. 18,000 verses, which Parikshit Maharaj said in 7 days, tell me all the knowledge I need to know before I die. What is it that I have to know? So all the knowledge we need to know is in Srimad Bhagavatam. 18 books, 18,000 verses. That was spoken here, Bhagavad Gita was spoken here, and Ramayana was compiled here by Valmiki. So we can understand that what is this land. These texts can purify and elevate us and liberate us. They contain the seeds of perfect philosophy, way of life. They were spoken here. And so people all over India know this, but they can't, because also there are many versions of Gita, Bhagavatam, Ramayana which are not bona fide. People are saying Ramayana is a great story, Rama is a great personality, he's the supreme personality, he's not a great personality. And Bhagavad Gita. So that's the problem. There is no guidance, there is no proper direction, but all the knowledge is here. So now at present people are living in ignorance of this knowledge. Actually within the knowledge of the soul, this is something that is required in society. But people are living in ignorance now in this world. People are living without knowing why they are living, what is the purpose, and who they are, they can't understand. So because of that, they are suffering. This is the root cause of suffering. Not knowing what to do and not knowing who I am, this is suffering. Lack of knowledge, ignorance, avidya. If I don't know who I am, how will I be happy? If I don't know my purpose, I'll engage in so many different activities which will never give me pleasure or happiness. What is that activity that I do that will bring me happiness and peace? It is what is designed, designated for me. That's what I should do. Then I'll become happy. So, but people don't know, they are not taught due to this ignorance. What is the knowledge? Knowledge is that we are the soul. We are soul. Okay, now we have that knowledge. You may have, or you have come a few times to our classes. Some of you read it, you understand, but you didn't realize. Realization is a different thing, that takes time. When we speak about Gyan, Gyan we translate to English as knowledge. It's not really knowledge in that sense like physics, chemistry and all that. Gyan means that realization of my identity as a soul, separate from this body, and not part of this material world, transcendental to everything. How much we realize that is how much we achieve Gyan. So to get that Gyan, many people went, searched, and did all kind of yogic practices. Now no one understands even that's what we have to do. But that is understanding. We have to attain Gyan. This is the meaning of Gyan. Not simply knowledge, but realization of my identity. So we are souls. But not knowing that, how much are we endeavoring in our lives, struggling hard to be happy on this body platform. This body I have, I want to make it happy. I'm struggling in many ways, but not having the knowledge of really who we are. Actually, we can't derive happiness from this body because we are not the body. Gita explains, we are not the body. So, we can't derive happiness from making this body happy, and this body will never stop demanding. The kind of happiness that actually Bhagavad Gita analyzes happiness, sadness. Shastra analyzes the type of suffering, the type of happiness. So greatest material happiness is supposed to be sex, food, and sensory pleasure by eyes. So none of these three can satisfy. None of these three can remove that feeling of emptiness and lack of happiness, because they are not on the spiritual platform. We are souls. We have to endeavor on the spiritual platform. This is the knowledge of Gita. Civilizations don't understand this. Whole civilizations are based on simply on this body platform. So, proper understanding of knowledge is we can't derive happiness from the body, neither from this material world. This material world has so many things which are very attractive. Actually, it will be attractive because it's coming from Krishna. But Krishna explains in Gita, this is mama teja angsha sambhava yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam srimad urjitam eva va tata eva vakachatvam mama teja angsha sambhava. He says, whatever beauty, opulence you see in this material world, it's one particle of my greatness. It's nothing, it's very small part. Then what is Krishna's greatness? This is Vaikuntha. So, not knowing that, we will not get happiness from the body and from this material world. People are endeavoring but not getting. The more we endeavor, the more we suffer. Bhagavatam explains in 11th canto, the most miserable person is that person who is engaged in pursuit of material happiness. And rather the happiest one is one who is practicing principles of dharma. He will be happy with the minimum things, with nothing in the world. He'll be in very great happiness because he's in his original position. So the more we run after material things, it will become like the animal running on the desert for the mirage, the water. He'll never get it. So now, as I was saying, civilizations, lifestyles, which are centered on material sense gratification, they are doomed to failure. So many empires were ruling the world. They fell. They were only based on this point of material happiness. So they'll not be happy, and they'll never satisfy the people. And all through their progress of material facility, they'll bring frustration, depression, stress, and criminals, corruption, all these things will come from there. Okay, so this is why all the empires fell. If they were good, people will keep them, but they rejected, we're not going to follow this, we're not going to. But the Vedic culture is different. Vedic culture is not evolved. It's not, for example, if you say Chinese, Arabic, etc., different African culture. According to the time and place circumstance, people are wearing certain clothes suitable for that climate, eating certain food. Vedic culture is not like that. It was given in the Shastra as a perfect social, financial, religious, cultural system which the human civilization should follow and get perfection. It was given. It's coming, it is transcendental. So, previously, one questioner was asked to Srila Prabhupada that there were so many civilizations They were all over in a few hundred years, maybe thousand. But how is it that we have information that previously India ruled the world, what we call the Vedic age? We have information that India was ruling the world from Hastinapur, what is now known as Delhi. Okay, so of course some people don't accept this thought. They are saying, oh well, a long time ago there was no world, there were only baboons and gorillas, we were no humans. Okay, but now our Itihasa Shastra say this. Okay, now the people who don't accept this, they have an alternative history, but they can never fully prove it. Actually, no one can prove it because we were not there, isn't it? We'll dig up the ground like a dog digs up the ground and takes out a bone. They'll take out the bones, study the bones. Oh, this age, date the bones. And they say that, okay, this layer of the earth is structured. If we find something in this layer, that means it's from this period. This layer, that period. So when they mentioned this to Prabhupada, he said, but the earth is always changing, it's always moving. You can't put a rule like that. Tectonic plates are moving, there's earthquake, there are volcanoes, things are always moving. We can't put that logic. So they study bones, they study artifacts, and then they're dating. Okay, but books have been written. For example, there's a book called, what is it called? Forbidden Archaeology by Michael Cremo in America. He says, what view we have of the ancient world is completely wrong. Whenever they have something which they want to give, that before everything was primitive, now okay, European civilization came, this is the highest evolution of human society, okay, everything before was primitive. So that is their narrative. Now if they find something contradicting, they'll hide it or say something wrong and keep it away. And like this they found so many things. They're finding deities in Russia, Vishnu deities. They're finding traces of Indian trade in South America and Europe, currencies, but they're just explaining away in some way. And this is called a book, Forbidden Archaeology, is documenting all of this. Another book is written, Hidden History of the Human Race. No, the other one. Human Devolution. Now we are saying that humans evolved. That book is saying, no, we devolved. We were much brainier, healthier. But devolution happened, and that book establishes that there was one common culture, civilization in the whole world, from which all what we see came, all the other cultures. So anyway, we cannot know. We have to trust some fixed source. Now we are reading from the Vedas, as I mentioned many times, that people following Sanatana Dharma, we accept Vedas as axiomatic, that what it says we accept. And nothing has been proved wrong in terms of anything, the scientific knowledge, anything. So, Vedas say that India ruled the world previously, and that was center of trade. In fact, many Western philosophers, I saw so many quotes, but limited things I can put in short time. But philosophers are explaining that the seeds of human civilization are coming from India. So now, one question was asked to founder of ISKCON, Prabhupada, that how is it for millions of years, Satya, Treta, Dwapar Yuga, and so far Kali is 5,000 years, but majority of that, if you go back, India was a dominant culture. We are saying India, but actually the culture belongs to the whole world, human race. It's surviving. So why is it that no one protested? When the British took over, everyone protested. Within 100 years, everything is gone. American dominance, Romans, Greeks, they were not able to stay so long. How is it that in India, millions of years things went on? That people were happy under, even though the rulers from another country, but everyone was happily following this. So Prabhupada explained, because everyone was happy. People were happy, they got all material necessities, and knowing that everyone is a soul and has spiritual requirements, the government provided spiritual education, and they gave sufficient spiritual guidance. Okay, the rulers were pious, they were godly, they were honest, the rulers were good, they looked at material and spiritual necessities. We can see in history how it was. So they had material necessities taken care of, and also spiritual. And the civilization or culture was spiritual centered. The education, the social organization, everything was based on self-realization. The education meant education how to come out of this material world. Now people will think, okay, what about material things? Material necessities are never a problem. It's not a problem. Now in Vedic culture, what they did, they gave everyone 1 acre of land and 1 cow. Now you can cultivate the land and get your food, and then from the cow you get butter, ghee, everything. Solved. Economic problem solved. Enough for our need, but not for our greed. For your greed, that will not be enough. Now if we want a lot of material things and accumulate all these things, then we'll need to devise some artificial thing to now get a lot of wealth. But that means someone will not get the wealth. They'll be poor people if we squander so much. So there was enough for everyone's need. This is the solution. So in the Vedic culture, no one was lacking. Food was free. It was all over the place. Food was not the problem. People focused on spiritual elevation. Even employment. Employment was simple, that what their parents were doing, we'll do that. Now we made such a big problem for food and employment that no one is thinking about spirituality. If we are ignoring spirituality, we will never be happy. Increase of crime, stress, depression, all of these things are linked to lack of spiritual happiness. So because in the Vedic age, everyone was getting all these things, they were satisfied, they were happy. They were not challenging government or anything. And therefore there is narrations we are getting that kings from here, they were, all over the world. In Mahabharata it's written, and in Srimad Bhagavatam, how the kings went all over the world without opposition. People liked them. They liked the kings. One other thing, this is Vedic knowledge explained. When the ruler is pious, then material necessities are in abundance. What do I mean by material necessities? Food, water, etc. These things you cannot make in the factory. See, we'll build big factories, IT parks, whatever, but you cannot make rice, dal, you cannot manufacture water. Scarcity of water, food happens in sinful places. So now when the ruler is pious, everything is supplied. This is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, chapter 5, where it's describing the rule of King Yudhishthira. Rain came on time. Not only it came on time, it came at night. These are the subtle things we have to understand. Rain never came in the day. It disturbs the activities. It came at night, it rained when people are sleeping. When they woke up, water was there. That's one thing. Also, jewels. Jewels were available in the mountains and in the rivers. Now people don't have jewels. Cannot afford, they're so expensive. These are some of the material necessities in human society. So jewels were abundantly available, and water, rain, therefore grains were there, and the cows were happy. They give a lot of milk. Even without being milked, they will give milk. So when the ruler is pious, everything is provided. So in Vedic civilization, rulers were trained from age 5 in Shastra. They were not just Raja, they were Raj, Rishi, pious kings. So they were religious. So when they took power, Devatas cooperated. Otherwise, we cannot expect cooperation from the Devatas, rain and material necessities. So now I am describing the Vedic age, how India was dominating previously. And I explained that birth in India is fortunate. We have understanding from Shastra. Sorry, it went wrong. Because our cable broke down, we could not connect the computer, now we're connecting the phone. So, birth in India is fortunate. The souls who take birth in India, that means they're pious from past life, they were practicing self-realization. Okay, so the culture they're born in already accepts things which we are trying to teach. For example, Atma, Karma, trying to attain perfection. People, these things are there already in society. Then outside, ISKCON is in Russia and Africa explaining people what is soul. In Europe they're rejecting, no, we are not suffering. But the concepts of spiritual knowledge are already taken. When we take birth, we are given from young age, mostly. Okay, so even the Prabhupada explains, ISKCON founder Prabhupada said that the bodies are different. Sometimes we'll get a body which you can enjoy a lot, but the body, the Indian body, is meant for spirituality. The mind, the potential for austerity, intelligence is meant for that. Of course, now we're using it in IT and expanding and in a different way, economic domination and other. But it was meant that with this facility we can practice. Some other body is difficult, senses are strong to control, they cannot do it, it's hard. Okay, or they cannot take tapasya. But in India these things are there. So the body, the land is suited for self-realization. So therefore, according to Shastra, it's mentioned in this verse that Krishna in his avatar as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said it's the duty of anyone born in India, Janma sartak kare, that they have to attain perfection. Janma sartak kare kara para upakar. Okay, translation for this verse is Bharat Bhumi Haile Manushya Janmaya Janma sartak kare kara para upakar. One who has taken birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharat Varsha, it's Bharat, should make his life successful and work for benefit of all people. Krishna has ordered anyone taking birth in India must attain self-realization, because we are given the body, we are given the holy rivers and the dham, that we must do it. Not only that, but we must help the other humans on this planet who cannot understand what is Atma, who can't understand goal of life, and so they are suffering. This is the duty. It's ordered by Krishna. So what is first? First is we have to become perfect. We become perfect. Next, this nation, the nation should become spiritual, and then they should change the world. Once in a conversation, when Westerners came and joined the ISKCON movement, they came back to India. So their first time in India roaming around, they thought that, okay, this is the land where Vedas was. This is the land Gita was here. This is the land of perfect civilization, culture. They asked them, Prabhupada, why are people so poor? Why is it suffering? Why are there so many criminals? Why terrorists? So much problems are happening in India. Prabhupada replied immediately. He didn't give a gap. He said they didn't do their duty because they had a responsibility. They were born with the knowledge, but they didn't spread it. Therefore, this is some kind of punishment by nature. It is like as if people are around suffering from some illness, and I have the medicine, I'm not giving it, I'm just sitting. So, in that case, even someone can be arrested. That is not error of commission. It is not a crime of commission. It's a crime of omission. Not that I did anything wrong, but I could have done something, I didn't do it. So because of that, the heavy reactions came. It came under foreign subjugation, so many people suffered, and the culture and everything. So this was his reply, that they were born with the perfect knowledge and culture, and it was not spread. But the order is given by Krishna himself, that one should perfect their life and spread it. So it is error of omission. Now Srila Prabhupada, he himself, he is coming in a chain of gurus that came from Krishna himself. So his teaching this is Sanatana Dharma. Sorry, excuse me. This is Sanatana Dharma. It's nothing but Sanatana. What we are. ISKCON is nothing different. It's based on Veda. We are teaching everything. So Prabhupada was taking knowledge of the Veda and saying, this is the blueprint. He formed the society of ISKCON. He said the goal of this society is to propagate this knowledge, for people to become perfect. And ISKCON society is meant for propagating through book distribution, through teaching, and has to bring the human society back on this platform of spiritual civilization. Then he mentioned one thing, that India has to change. If India changes, automatically the whole world will change. But now India has gone on a course of purely material advancement and given up the spiritual side. Actually, there is a great desire to go on spiritual side, but maybe there is some opposition even within India. But that is the duty. So this society is meant for also for India and for the whole world to come back on the platform. So Srila Prabhupada once, he devised 10 points. That was in the time Prabhupada was there, Indira Gandhi was head of state. So Prabhupada made 10 points, which he said that we have to speak to Indira Gandhi to implement. He came with these 10 points. He approached her, but she was in a very disturbed state, she was saying that there's a threat on her life, and it was a very small meeting. So, but they have the record of these 10 points. Let's see, I hope it came out. No, it didn't. Okay, I'll read it out. There's a problem with this. Okay, so the 10 points are like this. Okay, some are apt for now, some are not, but you can understand his thinking. First point, he said, grant immigration to 500 foreigners, because now at that time, now you see, India is spiritually awakened. Now in the 70s, that time they were thinking, now we have to give up all this spiritual thing and we have to go wildly into material advancement. That's how we are going to get happiness. Okay, just 1 second. So, therefore, he brought people, he said that Indians are copying the West. They're copying their language, their culture, their food, their dress, everything. So what we'll do, we'll bring people from the West, we'll make them into Sanatan, following Sanatan Dharma, and then people will see Westerners are like that and they'll follow them. And that happened. That's how he started the preaching in India in a big way. Before 15 years he preached in India, nothing happened. No one wanted to see Gita or anything. Okay, so then when he brought these Westerners, people said, oh, Westerners are taking, it must be a good thing. So they took it. So at that time he said these 500 foreigners, they should be given Indian citizenship so that they can preach and start. Okay, anyway, after some time he mentioned that all MPs should be initiated Brahmanas. Now try to understand here, Brahmana in Bhagavad Gita, the Varnas are explained. The shloka is Chatur Varna Maya Sishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha, where Krishna is saying, I created the 4 Varnas. It's not that it was invented, but it's coming in the Shastra. But he mentioned one thing, Guna Karma Vibhagasha. It's decided according to people's guna and karma. Later it became according only by birth. So the parampara we are following doesn't accept this, that only by birth one can be a Brahmana, because someone may be a Brahmana but born and not following the principles. Or someone may not be born in a Brahmana family but following the principles. So this original meaning which is in Gita, Guna Karma Vibhagasha, this is what we've spoken about here, that everyone who is in a government should be on a Brahminical platform. What is Brahmana? Brahma Janati Iti Brahmin. One who knows Brahm, one who is spiritually inclined, who knows the supreme absolute truth, who knows the goal of life, they should be in government. One whose principles are based on Shastra, who is religious, they should be in government. So this is what he means by initiated Brahmanas. Anybody who is showing Brahminical tendency can be given this vritti. Okay. Next, Sanjay to the king, the Indra, queen mother. So Prabhupada, he stressed some points here. One is that monarchy is superior to democracy, because if democracy, he said, this is demon crazy, not democracy. Mass of people are fools, they will elect another fool. This is what he said. It's not that everyone should get a vote. A mass of people don't understand what is the goal of life, what is good for me, what is bad, and you give everyone a vote, who will they vote? Majority of people are foolish, then a fool will come into. Okay, that is, but you have, of course, exceptions are there. Sometimes someone comes, a good ruler. So he said, instead we should have monarchy. In monarchy, from a young age, they'll be taught to rule, and they must rule based on Shastra, everything like this. And they'll be taught that you are ruling, but you are not the thinker. The thinker is a group, you can say a committee of Brahmanas, people who study Shastra, who know. He will take guidance from them and he will rule. So he said, then therefore the monarchy should be established here in India and then all over the world. At that time he said Sanjay should be the king, because he said ruler has to be a male, should not be a woman. So he says this, and around that time of Prabhupada there was a party called Ram Rajya. So we have to bring back days of Ram, you know. But they were not inclined too much to spirituality. So Prabhupada said they want kingdom of God without God. Everything should be nice, spiritual, but they don't want to promote God himself. Okay, so Sanjay, king, monarchy to be brought back. Next, close slaughterhouses. Actually, in 1929, Nehru said in a public meeting that if he becomes Prime Minister, he'll close all the slaughterhouses, but he didn't do it. So that is something very inauspicious. According to Vedic understanding is, anyway, if a cow is killed, you cannot do yajna in 2 kilometers around. It's contaminated. And if cows are happy, then because all devatas reside in the cow, then all civilization, human society will be happy. Because the cow is a special animal. All the devatas reside. If cows are happy, everyone will be happy. If cows are not happy, human society is doomed, they will suffer. Okay, now for many of you, some things may not be familiar, because as we are not now studying Veda, and we are basing all our knowledge on different other systems which are coming from colleges and universities, intellectuals and thinkers. They're telling us how to rule country, how to, none of it is theistic, it's all atheistic. But simply put, whatever they put has not worked till now, has it? Which country is perfect? Economy is a mess, society is in a mess, social disorder, economic mismanagement, and nothing works. So, slaughterhouses to be closed, and okay, alright, that part is there. Okay, next, chanting. Now, chanting. This is Yuga Dharma. In this age now, if people want to attain spiritual perfection, if we're going to follow the Vedas, Kalau Tad Hari Sankirtana, we have to chant Hare Krishna. Oh, we cannot, nothing is perfect unless there is Harinam. Even if we do Bhumi Puja, but Harinam must be there. Even if we do any yajna, but Harinam has to be there, chanting Hare Krishna mantra. This is the Yuga Dharma. So, he said, this should be propagated all over the world. All over the world, chanting, people should be given facility to chant. Then, there will be no need for police. Gradually, everyone will police themselves. There will be no criminal elements. Their heart will be purified. Chanting should be propagated. Okay, next thing, meat eaters at home. No public meat eating. So, meat eating also, it's very inauspicious, and it's difficult to get an auspicious environment if meat is there cooked or if it's consumed. That area, even if we do some spiritual activity, it's difficult. So everyone can, it says here, can do it at home. And he explained that everyone has to let them kill their own animal. There should be no shop. Then people will think twice. In the West, probably here also, no, not here so much in India, but in West, slaughterhouses are given a very nice name. They call abattoir, something like that. Some very name disconnected. They're not called slaughterhouse. And they are hidden from the public. And then now the vegetarians in the West, they're saying, take the children on a school trip, show them how animals are killed. They'll become vegetarians. They're hiding it from people. So people, they are thinking, they're just thinking meat is cooked, I'm eating. But if they have to kill, then okay, here's a knife, kill it, eat it now. Then it'll be difficult. So our idea is, who wants to eat meat, let them kill the animal and then they can eat. Okay, next, it is not on this list. Now there are 10 points. Prostitution should be punishable. So degradation, flesh trade, everything comes from this. These are 10 points Prabhupada gave how to transform India and then whole world. Number 8, he says there should be no religious group except followers of Gita. So in private, people can follow what they want, but propagation should only be for Bhagavad Gita. Okay, now it's not, oh, fanatic, they're following what they want. The point is that actually if we do a study, there's no other system which is going to explain about Atma and how to come of Maya. Nobody knows what is Maya even, other systems. What is Sattva Gun, Rajagun, and how to come out of Maya if they don't know. So, although all religions are brought by Krishna, they have levels. So why not propagate the highest level? So that's one thing. Another thing is that if India is going to propagate all this knowledge, India itself has to become fixed and in this one system. So anyway, of course, Vedic culture is inclusivist. Everyone can coexist. But propagation should be on principles of Gita. Okay, Bhagavad Gita is topmost knowledge. It's written in Gita, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam. This is the king of knowledge. Pavitramidam Uttamam. It's the most pure. Prataksha Bhagavan Dharmyam. One can directly perceive God by reading Gita and studying. So Sukham Kartum Avyam. And everyone become happy by studying Gita because it's spiritual. Okay, point number 9. Remember, 10 points are there. Point number 9. All government officers must join Kirtan at least twice a day. So all government officers must be in a Kirtan, in a bhajan, because this is a Sankirtan Yajna. It's powerful. It cleanses all the Tamogun, Rajogun. So they have to be pure. They are leading. Leaders have to be pure. So by making sure that they attend Kirtan and bhajan sessions, they'll be purified. Now Kirtan people think as something sentimental or sentiment or for children or for women or something. But Shastra is very fixed that in Kali Yuga, Kirtan will be the only way to get perfection. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam kalau nasti eva, nasti eva, nasti eva gatir anyatha. There is no other way to achieve perfection but Harinam. So it's very powerful. So if we take part daily here, we have Gaur Arati at 6:30. We do Arati, we do Kirtan. So this is emphasized for purity. So at least government officers, leaders should be in that. Okay, next point, number 10, last point. Prabhupada explained they should support Krishna consciousness all over the world. So practically, he says, government of India should support activities for propagating the spiritual knowledge which set up. Okay, worldwide, I think ISKCON is the most prominent. So if government of India takes that initiative to make things easy for propagating the knowledge, then the whole world will transform. Of course, we will not understand this fully until we read the Gita. Okay, some of you may have not read Gita or any spiritual book. But if you read, you will understand what is a great thing, how people have changed. And by this, the seeds of perfect human civilization thought are in the Gita, actually, perfect. So, it requires these 10 points Prabhupada said at that time to transform India. So ISKCON, he established ISKCON for this purpose. He said we have to do a complete revamp of human society in terms of educational, religious, political, economic, social and economic, all orders. Everything should be revamped in a spiritual way. Okay, now all these wars and suffering we're having is people don't know their purpose and they don't know who they are. So they're very disturbed, looking for happiness, and looking for that happiness they are clashing with each other. My land, oh my land. But land should be declared as God, belonging to God, and everyone can take as much as they need. Previously they're given that land and as much they need for their need. But if I were to tell you now, all of you will give you what you need, not what you want, you will not be happy. We have so many desires, isn't it? But that will be satisfied if we practice a spiritual life. If we chant Hare Krishna, daily read Bhagavad Gita and hear instructions of Gita, then we'll attain spiritual calm and peace. We'll not need so many things outside here which are trying to satisfy. We'll never be satisfied with this. What we are lacking is the spiritual consciousness. If we have that, You'll be happy with a minimum thing, like before. Indians are very happy with minimum things, and any spiritual person. But because we left that culture, then now we are that mad rush for material things to be happy. Even then we're not happy. Okay, so this is the direction of India. That now they're talking about superpower. But even if you say materially India becomes superpower, after some time people will reject. No. Even now in the West, Indians have come, they're taking out jobs, people are getting angry. Or they should go out, or we don't want. Materially we cannot, but spiritually, if people realize that all the knowledge, everything we are seeking is here, and that knowledge is propagated, then people will turn to India again as before. That better you lead, better you decide the direction of this human society, better you take charge, because it's on a spiritual platform. As before people were happy, so they'll be happy now, in this way. This is the role of India. This is given in Shastra. Srila Prabhupada has written many books on this. There's a book called Message to the Youth of India. We have many copies. There are many quotes given. That the message that the youth of India, what was actually the goal, what was supposed to be, and what got lost. Even if you look at, for example, Gandhi. Gandhi was also had some idea that development in India should be in the villages and the spiritual culture. That was his desire. Okay, so even now, people have seen Indian culture traditions. They've already spread in many ways. Ideas of vegetarianism, yoga, many ideas. The medical systems based coming from the Vedas. Already many things have spread. Okay, but even now, people are, at least I can say great scientists, philosophers, intellectually, they are looking to India for answers. They are studying these texts. So, the idea is that when we talk about superpower, India should take on the spiritual side. Not that we give up material things. Materially, for whatever, maintaining the society, defense, that should be there. But we should not give up the spiritual side. The role of India, we saw quotes, so many quotes, that the knowledge of the Vedas was here. It's the duty of everyone here to become self-realized and to spread the knowledge. And likewise, the government should take this and spread it all over the world. Now also there are many people, even within India, within government, people have some of these ideas. But mass of people now completely spiritually illiterate and not having this knowledge, they're thinking, how will we enjoy? No, we shouldn't do that. I remember as soon as this present government came in power, they tried to ban pornography and people went to court. No. I was shocked. They went to court of law, said, no, don't ban it. It's our right. It's not right. This is creating crime. It's creating degradation. It's pulling people away from spiritual consciousness. Anyway, so the point is, yeah, even now there is a idea for that. But we have to understand, at least Future of India Youth said that India has a special position. We have to connect again to the spiritual past, and we should become perfect. We should spread it all over the world. This is our duty. Krishna gave the duty. Bharat Bhumi Haile Manushya Janmaya Janma Sarthak Kare Para Upakar. It's order given by God. That this land, we brought all the knowledge here, it should be propagated as it was previously. So, I suppose what I spoke today would be something very you would not hear things like this. But knowledge of this kind of knowledge has to be spread now, so it should be propagated. Okay, any questions? Yes.
Can you elaborate on the part that how the body that is born in India is more suitable for spiritual?
Okay, can you elaborate how the Indian body is more suitable for bhakti? So I was personally in a lecture by one of the ISKCON preachers, senior preachers. He was explaining, this was in Pune. He said that he had done study in Shastra, You see, you have different bodies all over the world, and some are very physically strong. Some can take a lot of intoxication, they don't have problem. And some are very sharp at manipulating material things, making machines, and And he said particularly the Indian form is having different quality. One is, for example, power of austerity. Okay, now we find, if you go to the West, you find people coming from India, they're living 20 people in one house, they don't have any problem. They eat little, go out, work hard, and earn a lot of money suddenly and become rich. They can do austerity, but other people cannot do austerity like that. They become very disturbed. When the economy comes down, people don't have money, they revolt against the government, they cannot take austerity. So austerity is there in Indian body, it's meant for spiritual realization. That we do austerity, eat less, fast, go to holy places. That was the point. Okay, next is, for example, intelligence. To understand Vedas, to understand these topics, we need some fine intelligence. Be able to contemplate these higher topics. So that potential is there. But now it's taken in a materialistic way. So now in IT, they're coming and dominating in programming and all that. Materially, they're advancing. But it was meant to be spiritual. Intelligence, austerity. And generally, in one quote, there are many quotes, I couldn't put all of them, but it's here in this book, Message to Youth of India. We'll show it upstairs in the book table. There, Srila Prabhupada is explaining. Srila Prabhupada, actually, he appeared in Kolkata. He was a pure devotee and explained as one of India's greatest Vedic scholars. And he said that spirituality is very natural for Indians. And even though government's trying hard, I mean, maybe not this government, but they're trying to stop, encourage material advancement and stop spiritual practice. They said this is why we got dominated, we have to endeavor. So even though they're trying hard, but whenever there's a religious occasion, so many people come. In spite of so much propaganda against Vedic knowledge, Sanatana Dharma, still people are so much absorbed, because naturally the Indian body is meant for that. So that's where I heard this, but this is given, it's given in many quotes. For example, in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 14, I think it was, I mentioned, there is a whole section given there. Speciality about this land. So, all this will, this is the speciality, but it will go to waste if we don't do it. We got it. One person in ISKCON explained, he was from the West. He said how in the outside of India everyone is coming spiritually into the platform, but in India they're not, they're running after technology only. He explained, like, if this pillar, this is Krishna. So right near the pillar, people born in India, in Indian body, you just need few steps, you can come. But their back is turned to Krishna. You're not going to see. Yet people born outside or they're far away and they are running fast. He gave this analogy. Okay, any other question? Yes.
That mediating point I do not understand, the 6th one. Why is it allowed in the home and not outside? It should be the opposite.
Okay, question is meat eating. Why do we say meat eating should be in the home? At home, but not in public. So now the thing is, whatever you do, there's a section of people, they'll want to eat meat. If you stop it, it will go underground, smuggling, that kind of things will happen.
And outside it can lead to people's attention and affect their consciousness.
Yeah, that also. So I'll come to that also. So the meat eating, there'll always be people. So what we are saying, don't do it in public. One thing is that what he said, that other people will see and they'll get attracted, maybe. Okay, other thing is that it's inauspicious. Publicly, you have in public what should be there? In public there should be a Nagar Sankirtan, Harinam, or public there should be a procession of the deity, distribution of prasad, distribution of books. This is auspicious. But publicly you're putting meat, then that will contaminate the consciousness of everyone. Tamogun is dominant. Depending on the surrounding, what things are there, that will govern the guna. Now if you make a sattvic environment, everyone comes will be sattvic. If you put meat everywhere, then it will be tamasic place. Also, Kali Purusha resides in one of the places. Kali Yuga is strong, the Kali effect in places, certain places. One of them is where meat eating happens. So this is why not in public. If we can stop it fully, but then people will do it. So that do it in your house. And no slaughterhouse. You want meat, kill the animal, you take it. Don't go to the shop and yeah.
Shouldn't it be like how it was in Parikshit Maharaj's time, like in secluded places, rather than
Yeah, you see, even then, even if you're saying home, but definitely even now I know in Bangalore, that if you want to take a house in certain area, are you eating meat? No, you cannot get a house here. Even now, the idea is whoever is eating meat, they'll hospitalize it in one corner of the city or even out of the city. Because you build your home in the jungle, here, we will not allow you in. Or in the edge of the city, there you can do, these things. So even though we're saying in the home, but their home won't be allowed. They'll not doubt that you can build your home near the temple and eat meat. They'll not allow it. That won't be allowed. Okay, any other question? Yeah, one more.
Like if someone meets me, we interact with them because they are roommates or friends, they eat me, and we interact with them, they eat me.
Yeah.
Does that then affect our consciousness also?
Yeah, so the question is that if we don't eat meat, but our friends are eating meat, we interact with them, does it affect us? Not only meat, everything. Meat, alcohol, and what Prabhupada called woman hunting, looking for women. This is now like a part of society, in colleges over there. But it was Prabhupada's father. He said, a chance came for me to send my son to England to become a lawyer, but I didn't want him to become a woman hunter. I mean, nothing wrong with marriage. It's religious, it's spiritual. But before marriage, this interaction, he said, is very damaging to consciousness and spirituality. Now, to answer his question, association, we will get all these bad habits, definitely, 100%. I remember there was a time I was punished, I was young, you're not getting good marks, you have to get good marks. So I consciously want to associate with people who are getting good marks. I was with them, going around and then seeing their, following them, and gradually that idea came. So what is it? Sangat sanjayate kama. By association, you will get that desire. So choose your friends carefully. There's a saying, show me who your friends are, I'll tell you who you are. There's an English saying. If someone is on a spiritual path, then if you become serious, at some point one has to change the association if you want to be successful. Because our association will change. And therefore Prabhupada explains in one purport in his books, we formed the International Society for Krishna Consciousness so people can get a chance to associate with people who are spiritually minded, so they can become spiritual. Association affects us, so we should be careful. Yeah. Any other question? Yeah. Announcement. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Announced about Diwali Yatra,
Oh, correct.
17 October to 26th October.